All right, welcome back to the program. So we're about to start our conversation this morning. And just a reminder, don't forget to follow, join us for the conversation. The number to send your SMS will be displayed on the screen. And it's all about you and your vehicle and your safety. Our conversation this morning is on CNG cars retrofitting guidelines and NOS in Nigeria. How does it affect you? How does it affect the country? How does it affect the environment? Let's listen to this background report put together by our correspondent, Ibrahim Dan Hamidou, to give us a clearer perspective before we bring in our guests.
In a time when the price of petrol has become a daily struggle for Nigerian families, the shift to compressed natural gas, or CNG, has been touted as a game changer. The promise is simple: cheaper fuel, cleaner air, and a new transportation model that breaks our dependence on PMS. But making that promise a reality requires more than just good intentions. It requires structure, standards, and trust. That's where the CNG retrofitting guidelines come in. In March 2024, the Standards Organization of Nigeria, in partnership with the National Automotive Design and Development Council, unveiled over 80 new regulatory standards to guide CNG conversion. They cover everything from kit quality, installation safety, to who is qualified to do the job. The goal is to protect lives, guard engines, and build confidence in this new era of transportation. Under these rules, only accredited conversion centers can convert vehicles. Each conversion must be inspected, certified, and approved before it hits the road. Today, there are over 150 CNG conversion facilities nationwide, up from just 7 in 2023. Lagos alone plans to deploy 2,500 kits and over 2,000 new CNG buses by the end of the year. The federal government is also subsidizing conversion costs by 50% and offering duty waivers on CNG vehicles and equipment. The average cost of conversion? Roughly 1 million naira, recoverable within a year in fuel savings. Yet, the road is not without bumps. The public is still cautious. Some worry about safety, others about upfront costs. And with less than 200 centers in a country of over 200 million people, access remains a challenge. But the numbers don't lie. Experts say if 1 million vehicles switch to CNG, Nigeria could save $4.4 billion a year in petrol imports. And in a country where transport costs can determine if a child goes to school or a trader makes a profit, that's not just economic policy. That's survival strategy. The Presidential CNG Initiative says it's ready. Conversion centers are opening. Standards have been set. Now it's about scale, awareness, and follow-through. Today on Good Morning Nigeria, we'll hear from regulators, technicians, transport leaders, and policy experts to understand the realities, dispel the myths, and ask the hard questions about Nigeria's transition to CNG.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim, for that detailed background there. And we already have our guest. One of them is seated in the studio while the other two joining us via Zoom. But let's just start with the one here in the studio, which is Mr. Oluwemimo Joseph Oshanikpe. He's the Director General, National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC. Mr. Oshanikpe, you're welcome to Good Morning Nigeria.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. Also joining us from our Lagos studio is Engineer Best Nodim. He's the President, Automotive Sector Skill Council. Glad to have you join us on Good Morning Nigeria. Sector Skill Council.
It's a Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Okay, Claire, you have the
Yes.
third guest.
Yes, all right. Joining us via Zoom is Tosin Koka, his supply chain commercial strategist, Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, PCNGI, and he's joining us via Zoom. Mr. Koka, thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
I would have loved to start with you because we're looking at the guidelines and the NOS. But please just give me a moment. Let's start with the President Automotive Sector Skill Council, Mr. Best Nodim. Mr. Best Nodim, if we have you, yes, good to have you with us, Mr. Nodim. Just speak to us briefly. What's the situation in terms of CNG conversion at the moment?
A remarkable progress has been made. About 2 weeks ago, I, with the Director General of National Automotive Design and Development Council, were in your studio in Abuja after the launch of basic documents that will be used in the training of artisans and technicians and technologists for the CNG conversions and all other activities around it. That was a convocation of relevant stakeholders from of fear about explosions and the dangers associated with it will be no more.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Nodim, for your opening remarks there. And well, let's come back to the studio here. You know, this morning when I was coming to the studio, one of these guys, they normally ask me, I say, oh, guy, you are going to the studio again this morning. What are you talking about? I say, CNG retrofitting. He said, wait and be CNG retrofitting. And I started explaining that it has to do with, upgrading standards, ensuring safety and all that. But we have the DG here so that he will help us to throw more light on what this CNG, retrofitting is all about. Tell us about the guidelines, and also how do you think that these guidelines will address the issue of safety, because that is a major concern.
Okay, thank you. Let me start before we release the guideline for retrofitting. We first of all developed the National Occupational Standard.
Okay.
There are 4 levels, and this standard specifies everything that you need to do. It's just like developing a curriculum for those who want to work on vehicle, especially conversion of vehicle that's already been powered by PMS or AGO. Then you convert it to CNG. So retrofitting, just that process of conversion.
Okay.
That is that process of converting that vehicle to a CNG powered vehicle. And then we came up with guidelines, that is step-by-step activities that are involved in those conversion process from the beginning to the end. The kind of kits you have to use, how to know that that kit is certified, how to check the numbers on that is manufacturing date, because, for example, cylinder have expiry date. So how to look at those days, how to confirm that those kits are genuine ones, and all those things are stated in that guideline. So guideline there is just for the technicians, not actually for the users of those vehicles.
Yeah, because the user too, they have to be aware,
Yes.
so that when the technicians are doing the wrong thing,
as well.
yeah, you understand, they will be able to put them right. No, they're not supposed to do this. So there has to be an awareness, for all the users as well.
Okay.
Women, you accuse women of not having knowledge about their cars. So these days, women, go the extra mile to even know how to fix, change tires, know when to change the oil. So
Do you change tire? Okay,
From the retrofitting, you will be able to know the what to look for example, on cylinder. And those numbers, that is the manufacturer of those cylinder, and the cylinder, each of the cylinder has code, unique code associated to a particular cylinder. And there is going to state on that cylinder the expiry date will be stated there. So best before this. So when a user, what concerned user there will be to ensure that those kits are those one already certified by SON. That is SON already adapted. During the introduction, it was stated that about 89 standards were issued in last year for that guide the operation of CNG in Nigeria. And those standards are already there. So the standard specify the kind of kit, specify the processes, and everything that you need to do to guarantee safety. And I can tell you, why do we do this? Why do we come up with NOS? The NOS is to train, because we know that a lot of people will be doing training. And we want that training to be standardized. We want the training you get in Abuja to be the same training you are going to get in Sokoto. And if you don't have a document that is going to guide the trainer in this, then you may not be able to standardize the training.
Do you have enough personnel to, carry out this training?
Yes, we have, and we are also training more personnel. As I'm talking to you now, we are training assessors. Currently, a lot of assessors have been trained. So, after you have the trainer, there are some assessors that will assess the trainers. So these assessors have been trained currently by us, and they are in the training school now. We are training them. So we have all this one map out. The people that will train the technicians, and then the people that will assess the trainers. But then you have a document that is going to guide them in this training. So that's why we have National Occupational Standard on conversion, calibration, and maintenance of CNG power vehicle. Then we now have the guideline on retrofitting. So these two documents are what are used by the technician to carry out conversion of vehicle. And let me state here that on the safety of converted vehicle, the safety procedure that are outlined in those documents, when followed, it means you can guarantee that the end product is going to be very, very safe. And gas is very safe. Let me tell you something. If you look at the cylinder, the thickness of cylinder is far thicker than that of the tank of a petrol. And again, Nigerians, I know if you ask Nigerians about 30 years ago, will you use gas in your kitchen? A lot of people will say, no, I will not use gas in kitchen. But now, Nigerians now realize that it's better to even use gas. The explosion that occur with gas is far lower than what will occur when using kerosene. And you can't even try petrol in the kitchen. So again, gas is far safer. And then, how do you preserve it? Because the gas is in a cylinder, while petrol is in tank. If there is any pressure, if there is any collision, if there is any impact, the effect on gas is minimal. In fact, it won't even affect the gas inside, because the gas can go in, but it can't vent. And because of the kind of cylinder used. And again, that cylinder is bulletproof and it's fireproof. So no matter the kind of impact, it's still safe. The gas inside cannot vent, so it cannot catch fire.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yes.
I want to find out, because you said that people they would rather use kerosene and petrol, to
they would rather use gas rather than kerosene.
Okay, now. Okay, so
I said in those days, about 30 years ago, people were running.
So there is more awareness now. But the issue of converting the workshops now, because I know that accreditation of CNG conversion workshop is also part of the guidelines.
Yes.
So what are the processes? Because we just see workshops springing up in different parts of the country.
Okay, workshops are not just springing up. I will explain. NADDC, that's National Automotive Design and Development Council, has the mandate to accredit conversion centers, because we have to know what a technician is doing on the vehicle. So in accrediting them, you apply. When you apply through our website, you don't need to write anything. Go to the website, upload all your documents, apply there. Then we get across to you. When we get across to you, we go there to confirm and verify some things. First of all, we verify your workshop to ensure that you have the right tools, you have the right equipment to carry out this conversion. And then, apart from it, I always say it is not the tools, not the equipment that is going to carry out the conversion. The conversion are going to be carried out by individuals, by people. So we have to also ensure that you have the right personnel. You have the right personnel who can, someone mechanical that is going to fix the tank. The tank is the cylinder. Fix it well and make sure that the thing will not be moving. It's well placed, well fixed. Then you have people that are going to ensure that the electrical part is well done. And then you have people that are going to do the calibration. Because if you do all this and you didn't get the calibration right, it's not going to work. Okay. So that's why we ensure that you have the right personnel. We will specify the kind of personnel you have to have. And that nurse also specify the kind of personnel you will have. It is when we are sure you have met all this, and then your personnel have gone through the right training, then we give you the certification. Then we approve your certification. Then it gives you the certificate to operate.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you said so many things, in one question. I would have loved you to take it gradually so that people will understand, because the levels of the NOS are in three. I think there are in
four levels.
4 levels, and the levels include light vehicles, They include motorcycles, tricycles, and all that. I didn't see the long articulated, I don't know if they are also part of it.
They are all part.
They are all part of it, okay. So I'm just wondering if you could enlighten, the viewer on what this, again, retrofitting process entails. Why is it absolutely necessary to have these guidelines? Because it's very important.
Yes, it is very necessary to have this guideline because we can't afford a mistake. Safety is non-negotiable in conversion of vehicle, because your vehicle, we want to make sure that after you have done the conversion, everything must be in order. And we need to set a standard so that the conversion process will be standardized, and then ensure that the right materials, the right kits are used, and then the people that are knowledgeable carry out this process. So in order to make it so that it won't be rule of thumbs, we decided to put together a guideline that specified every step-by-step activities you will take in retrofitting. So you take this step one after the other. So if you follow all the steps highlighted in our guideline through, then you will be able to, anyone that look at it will be sure that this process has been well done and well completed. Then you can guarantee the safety. The main motive of all this is standardization and then guarantee of safety.
Standardization and guarantee of safety. Claire,
Okay,
you
yes.
want to ask?
Let's bring in Mr. Coker of the Presidential PCNGI also, who's joining us from Lagos. Mr. Coker, thank you once again, and thank you for your patience. And, well, you've heard the number of vehicles so far converted, to CNG gas. There is potential of scaling it up to 1 million by 2027. And I'm just wondering, is that really feasible? Again, Mr. Nodim said, if you go to Lagos, I'm not in Lagos, you find queues,
Even in here in Abuja, you will see queues.
Queues, and all that. So what exactly is, prompting those long queues? And is it feasible to meet the deadline for 2027?
Morning once again. As Mr. Nandim said, the queues are a sign that this thing is working. This demand has been stimulated. People are interested. They're keen to convert because they've seen the benefits of CNG. What happens is normally, and this is not unique to Nigeria, normally the demand comes before the supply, because the private sector is the one that will bring in investment, but they will want to see that there is sufficient demand. And of course, the challenge now is that they've seen the demand, and but the supply is not there. But every week or so, there's a new refilling station coming up across the country. So we're gradually getting there, and it's not just the conversion centers, but it's also the virtual pipelines that will bring the gas from the mother stations to the daughter stations, the refilling stations. So yes, we need to do two things at the same time. One is continue increasing the pace and the number of conversions across the country. We're increasing the number of states that we are active in, but at the same time we're ensuring that the private sector comes in and supports this initiative by building the refilling stations. Currently, we have over 60. It's by no means sufficient, but like I said, practically every week now there's a new one being added, and we're sure that by the end of the year this number will probably double and continue to increase. We need at least 1,000 nationwide. So we're on track. We're on track. It's a big ask. It's a big task, but we're up to it. Nigerians have embraced it, and that is what is heartening to us at the PCNGI.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Coker, for that. We are on track, and the queue, he said, is an indication that the CNG...
That's how he's reading it.
Yeah,
that's how he's reading it.
There is an indication that there is the awareness is gaining momentum, and people are beginning to buy into it. Well, it's positive anyway. We look at it that way, but let's look at the impact of this policy on our automotive industry. Let's come back to the studio now. And what opportunities or challenges do you think will present to local manufacturers, and technicians here?
Okay, let me start with the local manufacturers. There are a lot of opportunity because in this, between 2023 and now, the sales of vehicle, that CNG vehicle, has really increased. You realize that 100%, all the sales or all the procurement made by government are from local manufacturers, 100%. So that means that local manufacturers are benefiting more now with the implementation of this CNG policy. One, and apart from that, the local technicians, we call them either NATA or different kind of technician bodies that are working on the vehicles. We've trained them. They acquire more knowledge on how to maintain or how to fix, convert CNG vehicle. And that means it's broadening their knowledge. And not only broadening their knowledge, we've organized training and then giving out some equipment, tools that they are going to use. So again, they are empowered. And if you are empowered and you have the knowledge, you have the right tools, what that is going to lead to is that it's going to increase your capacity to even generate more funds for your own household, and then it creates more employment. So this is what has happened to auto industry, and there are a lot of investment. If you go to most of our stakeholders, assembler, you will see that a lot of them have really scaled up. So a lot of investment is already going into vehicle manufacturing, either vehicle, tricycle. I can tell you the number of companies that have moved to manufacturing of motorcycle and tricycle in Nigeria has more than tripled from what we have in 2023 and what we have now. And a lot are still coming up. On Monday, I still met about 3 other companies that are discussing with us on how to set up a motorcycle manufacturing company. I'm going to be purely CNG and electric vehicle manufacturing. So a lot have happened, and I'm sure much more will still happen in that regard.
Okay.
All right. Let's bring back Mr. Nodim to our conversation. Mr. Nodim, we've heard about the guidelines, the retrofitting guidelines. We've also heard about the NOS, standardization procedures and all that, which is very laudable. And, the objective, of course, is commendable. And there's no doubt about, the wisdom in it. But let's also look at, the metrics for upscaling, the target mark for 2027 and what is on ground. We understand that, first of all, to retrofit in Nigeria, you are advised to either use patronized government-approved kits or even licensed installers to ensure compliance and safety standards and all that. Do you think that we have enough licensed installers? And, what do you think about government kits, procuring these kits?
Thank you for that question. The DG of Automotive Council has hinted on that question greatly. he reminded all of us that on the part of NLDC, they've trained, competent-based assessors and the technicians. But it's not enough. And that's why he mentioned it earlier, that training is ongoing. I benefited from NLDC as an assessor, quality assurance assessor, as far back as 2015, 2016. They equally trained me as an internal quality assurance manager for the automotive sector in 2016. And around 2019, 2020, I got the certification on external quality assurance manager in a national skills qualification framework. Why is this very important? It's very important because it's a sector that if there's any mistake, life is involved because you are conveying people. So that's why all these things are put in place. Now, since Mr. President made it clear that this CNG powered vehicles has come to stay, he set up a commission. That commission has been doing wonderfully well. The process of retrofitting is going on. As we are talking, companies are now even producing CNG-powered vehicles directly. Why those ones that are running on fossil fuel are now being converted? And what does it mean? That means you can run on your petrol or your diesel together with the CNG gas fitted to it. That makes it hybrid. And what is hybrid all about? Once you have two sources of energy that powers an internal combustion engine, it's hybrid. As you are running from Lagos to any other location or from Abuja to any other location, you'll be looking at the gauge in the tank. Once you are running out of gas, you can switch over to petrol. Then you continue to make your movement till when you can now refill again. So there's a button you can switch over from the petrol you are running, either PMS or automated gas oil, diesel. So, but currently now, vehicle manufacturers can now manufacture vehicles that run on CNG directly. And why is this very important? Nigeria, according to the chairman of the presidential CNG initiative, Nigeria is a gas nation. He even read out that it's over 210.5 trillion cubic feet of gas that we have in Nigeria. What it means is that we have enough gas in abundance. We are even flaring it, burning it away. So with this initiative, with this support from the presidency, you will see more coming in. But as thousands are being converted, there is need for competent technicians. Because before you convert a vehicle, you must carry out assessment and planning of the vehicle involved. Is it compatible? Which size of the tank? These are things you need to take cognizance of. Then you talk of the professional installation. There, it should be performed by qualified technicians that will use the guidelines stipulated. And these qualified technicians, they don't need to stay long in training. That's why they are using the model of the National Skills Qualification Framework. We use the National Occupation Standard, which you can refer as curriculum, to train them specifically on what they will do. And the practitioners in the industry usually draw members that will carry out this conversion from already existing technicians. The automotive industry is different from other industries that 2-3 months, somebody who can be carrying out activities he learned as a trade. No. People spend 2, 3, 4, 5 years learning the automotive trade. Either diagnosis, vehicle repair maintenance, wheel balancing and vulcanizing, all other aspects. So we draw people that will be trained in CNG conversion process from the pool of people that are already competent and working. You may ask me again, why is it important? It's important because they need to understand how vehicles work. In the country, Nigeria, vehicles that run on premium metal spirit are more than vehicles that run on diesel. So you need to understand how they work. Premium motor spirit, which we call fuel, which we go to filling station and refill, once you put it in a vehicle, there is an arrangement by design where the petrol and air comes into the cylinders of each vehicle, whether they are 4, 6, or 8. Petrol and air comes in a ratio predetermined by the vehicle manufacturer. Once that the combination of the two enters into the vehicle, it goes straight into the cylinder, each of the cylinders directly. There, the connecting rod compresses it. And once it's compressed, it comes into gaseous form. And it's this gaseous form that the CNG is already going to be, is already in that gaseous state already. So that process of converting, which equally consumes energy, will not be there. The air, the gas already, which is compressed, will now go directly into the combustion chamber and do the burning that is required for this vehicle to keep moving. And what are the benefits? Cleaner energy. Whatever is driving the revolution in the auto industry is aimed at a very clean environment. Because, like we said earlier, air that we breathe is a mixture of gases. And the only air that supports burning is oxygen. And air comprises of just 21% of oxygen. Other gases, which mainly is nitrogen and others, they are not needed. The danger is that if this nitrogen reacts with an unburnt oxygen, the environment is not safe. You and I that will inhale it when the vehicle passes will not be safe. There are health challenges it poses. And that's why they put all these sensors to monitor all these faulty components. So with CNG as a gas, it's finer, it's environmental friendly, and it burns efficiently and gives you the required energy to arrive at your destination, go to wherever you want to go at a lesser cost. So the need for technicians that will be able to handle this, and after the whole installation, carry out post-installation check to ensure that there is no leakage and all those guidelines, as the DG stipulated, are followed to the end.
Mr. Nadim, thank you. Thank you for the points that you have raised and for the robust explanation. I'm just wondering how long it will take, the training takes, and what do we need to do, to scale up the number of those of trained installers. This is the point I'm asking. I know the complexity of the conversion process and the safety requirements it requires. Well, what do we need to do? How do we wrap up the number of people that can do this conversion so that the scale of penetration is wide?
There is need for more investment in training and retraining of technicians. There is need to enroll more mechanics through the associations that are already existing. The DG mentioned about NATA. NATA give us so number of technicians in your database. There are other mechanics and tricycle associations that are in existence. We draw up the membership from them. There is need for extra budgetary provision to train more people across the geopolitical zones, because it's not only in the major cities that you'll be able to carry out these activities. It has to go around the geopolitical zone. So there is need for more financial provision to be able to train more technicians. One, draw up from existing associations of mechanics and technicians that are already practicing, so that the number will be known and the skill level will be known. Then deploy more training centers across the nation for this. The duration of the training remains the duration of the training. In NSQ, we work with a guided learning hour. So if the guided learning hour is 100, we must make sure that they spend that number of hours in the training. And at the end, assessment will be carried out. While doing it, they will be doing it with vehicles. They will see how it's being done. And once they're able to retrofit 2, 3, 4 vehicles in a typical certified training center, by the time you give them the necessary support, they'll be able to do their own. So more investment is needed in training and retraining. More resources is needed to be deployed, which will cut across the 6 geopolitical zones, working closely with the technicians associations and mechanic associations in the country so that we will know those that are competent. Again, it's not only the mechanic or technicians. For the retrofitting, there are other trades that are very important, like welding. You know, in a group of those people that carry out the retrofitting, somebody knowledgeable in welding must be there to carry out that aspect. Somebody knowledgeable in electronics, electrical electronics, will equally be needed. So all other people, they need to have basic knowledge of some of all these components. So by the time they team up, carry out this activity, there'll be no issue. And when it's completed, post-installation activities will be checked to ensure that there is no leak. The pressure valves and gauges and all those pressure lines that carry the gas from the tank to the engine, they are functioning optimally.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nodi. There, you have spoken at length about what is needed, at least to expand the services of the technicians, and I believe that the government is listening to all this, and you are aware of it. He also talked about that Nigeria has a very large reservoir of gas in the country. He talked about the benefits, you know. But I want to bring in Mr. Tosin Koka now, who is the Supply Chain Commercial Strategies Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative. I know that you will want to speak more on the benefits vehicle owners and operators in terms of cost saving and reduced fuel cost, and also touched on the environmental benefit of adopting this CNG technology, which Mr. Nodi also talked about.
Thank you. I couldn't hear the first part of your question. But in terms of the environmental benefits, without a doubt, CNG is, as Mr. Nondima said, it's certainly a cleaner fuel, certainly much cleaner than petrol, cleaner than diesel. It's cleaner for the environment, but it's also even healthier for your vehicle because it burns fewer carbon particles. Your vehicle doesn't require the frequent change of things like filters and stuff. So, your vehicle is much healthier, your engine is much healthier, and it will thank you for switching to CNG. So in that, you're making savings in terms of vehicle maintenance and changing of components every few weeks, especially if you're a heavy user like transport, public transport operator. But in addition to that, of course, as we mentioned, we have this natural gas in abundance as Nigerians. We should use it. It's a price that is regulated. It's not regulated. It's not subject to like the international oil prices, which affect the price of petrol. So it's a much cheaper fuel to purchase. We have it in abundance here. We're not importing it or subsidizing it like we did with petrol. So it's translating much cheaper. If you're on CNG compared to petrol, you can make up to 40, 50, 60% savings depending on your usage. If you're a diesel user, even more so. So it is significantly better for your pockets. The reason why you have these queues, you'll find that most of these drivers are actually commercial drivers, typically the Uber, Bolt drivers. They know that it pays them, as difficult as it is to sit in the queue for hours on end, they know it pays them better to do that than to go back to petrol. I monitor a lot of CNG WhatsApp groups that drivers use. Every time a new station is set up, they create WhatsApp groups for drivers to know. So they alert each other as to, oh, where's the air gas today, or just helping each other. There's a really good community springing up. I'm very happy to stay, not very happy, but they would rather stay on the queues and buy their gas and use the gas, because typically, let's say an Uber or Bolt driver, he makes about 50,000 naira a day, probably minimum. He's probably going to spend about 6, 7, 8,000 naira on that. But whereas on CNG to do that, whereas if it was on petrol, he'll probably be spending best part of 30,000, 40,000 naira. So on a daily basis, they're pocketing easily 30, 40,000 naira, 20, 30,000 naira more. So they can make, it's a big saving. It's something that one cannot ignore. Now, what we want to do, of course, is to ensure that they continue to enjoy this, and this doesn't become a pain or a burden for them. That's where we want to encourage we're very grateful for the support and the directives for the initiatives from NADDC, the Standards Organization in particular as well. But we want to encourage other agencies to help with not to say fast tracking, because of course we don't want to bypass safety requirements and stuff. But there are lots of gas stations undergoing licensing at the moment. So the sooner we can have these up and running, the demand is there. People want to convert, and we want, of course, we want to do a lot of training and ensure that we have the right technicians converting the vehicles, but also manning the downstream and midstream stations. But we want to ensure that as quickly as possible we get more of these stations licensed and operational, so that as the demand increases, supply is there to meet it. The gas is available, just need to channel it efficiently and equitably across the nation.
Mr. Coker, we thank you, even though the network is trying to get into the way of our conversation. But just please don't go away. I'll soon get back to you, just to let our guests, viewer know that you can send in your messages either through SMS or WhatsApp, and the number is 081-696-88123. Again, 081-696-88123. So, Mr. Coker, good enough you talked about availability of gas, but we also know. But let me report to you that I've heard, those who have successfully converted to CNG gas also complain about, availability of gas at the stations. And I don't know if NIPCO is still the, sole distributor of gas, to other stations. And if that is so, are you looking at, extending the PPP you talked about to this area gas distribution?
I am so sorry, I could not hear that. Could you please repeat?
Well, yes, I'll repeat my question. I said I want to report to you that I've had some friends of mine who successfully converted their cars to CNG use talk about availability of gas. And if NIPCO is still the sole or main distributor of gas, are you contemplating extending PPP, that's the private partnership strategy you talked about, to this area of gas distribution, so that a lot more companies get into the distribution of gas?
So the distribution of gas, availability of gas is we are trying to encourage all the players. So we're having discussions with the midstream providers. Those are the mother station owners, as well as the daughter station owners or people who are interested in investing. So, of course, there's a pricing and there's a framework, supply chain framework that needs to be made available, that needs to be perfected. But that notwithstanding, there are stations coming up, and there are stations ready to go and just awaiting licensing. So the sooner we have the licensing available, license it done. Once everyone's got their documentation and they've done all the necessary regulatory and safety and compliance checks, then this will the gas will be available. Like I said, the gas is there. We just need to be able to evacuate it or deliver it efficiently to all parts of the country. Certain Lagos and Abuja, they've got a good amount, but of course they're very big demand centers. So we need to increase that. But as we're doing that, we need to ensure that other parts of the nation as well, we're going to expand into the north now. We're looking at Spain in Kano by later this month. In the southeast as well, and the south, other parts of of the southwest. We haven't penetrated enough, but we're well on the way. And we can see as well in the when we speak with the NMDPR, the Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, we can see the number of licenses or applications for licenses there, both for daughter stations, which are the gas stations, filling stations, as well as the mother stations, which are the those who that process the gas from the pipeline and compress it and distribute. So there is a lot of investment that has gone in. We encourage more. Government has made a lot of incentives and things are possible to improve to entice the investors to come in. So things such as it's VAT free on gas, it's duty free on importation of gas equipment and kits and cylinders and all other equipment for refilling infrastructure, as well as the trucks and cascades, which we call the virtual pipelines, because we don't have the pipeline infrastructure that transcends the whole country sufficiently. So we rely on the trucks and cascades, these long tube cascades that you see on the roads. So the encouragement is there. We are stimulating the demand, and we're just imploring other parts of government, other agencies to help encourage the private sector to come in, because they can see it, they can see the demand is there, they want to get involved, they're getting involved, but we want to ensure that their investment is safe, but also for the nation. This transition to gas is constant, consistent, and ramps up so that we can hit the targets that we have set ourselves and Mr. President expects of us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coker. A lot of investment is required, for the proper implementation of this CNG retrofitting guidelines. Anyway, we'll take a break now. When we return, the conversation will continue. We'll look at the challenges and also how government is bringing in or collaborating with other government agencies for the implementation of these guidelines. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA, and the discussion is still on the CNG retrofitting guidelines that was rolled out in 2024, and we have our guest seated here with us. Now we come back to the DG, Mr. Oshanikme. We're looking at...
We have...
some
viewers, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't have. Maybe you.
Okay.
Have.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Let me take a number of questions, SMS that have come in. Good morning, NTA. Well done. Sincerely, governance without supervision will most likely lead to diminished expectations. CNG is best way to go for any nation. The greatest challenge of CNG initiative in Nigeria is not the conversion, but the availability of refill or filling centers. I want to believe he meant availability of gas and retrofilling centers. Definitely there is sabotage or lack of commitment to deliver on the supply of gas for over 6 years now, which is one of the best sides of the value chain. Well done for your effort. You didn't indicate your name, but that's a wonderful question. I think I've spoken to this issue of gas supply. The end user should be given awareness, orientation of the use. We should consider the type of vehicle we do use in Nigeria, especially commercial vehicle. Good morning, able presenters. My question is, what infrastructure and policy adjustments are necessary to facilitate widespread adoption of compressed natural gas vehicles in Nigeria, addressing challenges such as refueling stations, high conversion costs, and public awareness, while ensuring the transition contributes meaningfully to reducing greenhouse emission and dependence? This is Minkawe Felix. Thank you very much, Minkawe. My name is Philomena Stephen from Jos Plateau State. My question is, what is the implication of hot weather on CNG? What is the implication of hot weather on CNG? Did you please take note of that? And then, good morning. On the retrofitting of vehicles to CNG, it's a change in the right direction. However, access to the service and cost of acquisition is way too high. Access and cost of acquisition is way too high. Government needs to do more for access. I tried acquiring a made-in-Nigeria electric vehicle last year. It's like a dream, not realizable from an agency of government. Arabi Kende Paul, and he's from Life Camp here in Abuja. Good morning, NTA Nigeria. Thank you for this awareness. My name is Shegun. How can I be part of this CNG initiative? I want to be trained and be productive to the presidential course. Thank you, all of you. Thank you very much. Again, 081-696-88126. I said 123 earlier on. So it's not 123, it's 126. 081-696-88126. DJ, you want to take up some of the questions? Okay. Yes. How does hot weather affect
the hot weather will not affect the performance of CNG at all, because I mentioned the other time about the type of component used in manufacturing the cylinder. So the cylinder can cope with hot weather. In fact, it can cope with fire. That's why I said it's fireproof. You should put a cylinder inside a burning fire. Even if you get to 100 degrees centigrade, it's not going to explode. So for it to explode, you may be thinking of something above 500. So
all the video and the online clips we're seeing about, CNG cars, exploding. Are you dismissing all of those? Even the ones that happened in Yaya?
Okay, let me tell you the one that happened in Yaya. After that fire, the fire was not as a result of the CNG gas, number one. And even after the burning, you could still see the cylinder. They were still there. And the gas still inside the cylinder, even with that heavy fire. So you saw the clip too. If you watch it, you will see the cylinder, the gas was still inside the cylinder.
That's no explosion.
No explosion from the gas. It means what caused the fire was something different, not from the gas. And the gas was still there, still withstand that fire. So if a cylinder, in fact, that's the example for that hot weather. If that cylinder could withstand that fire, that means the cylinder can withstand any form of weather.
What impact does it have on the engine of the car?
The gas?
Yes, they said that.
The gas make the engine function better. Because as you know, you mentioned that these carbon particles that are already the residual of the carbon particle inside the engine will no longer be there, because this is a cleaner form of energy. And because of that, those particles will not be there, and then make the engine of the vehicle function better. Okay. So the impact is, let's say, is positive impact that it has on the engine.
Okay. What about the other questions?
The other question is you mentioned the cost of acquisition.
Yes.
And then the cost of assessing the CNG. Yes, that's why the federal government, Tosin mentioned the other time that the federal government is providing some of these kits and provide the kit free of charge, and apart from free of charge, they still provide the cost of retrofitting free of charge. But to those people that belong to recognized trade union, like NURTW, RETAN, and all of them. So you have to belong to this union, and then before you can access this, because federal government is targeting the commercial vehicle drivers, so those that are into fleet fleet operators, so that because these people are the one that the impact on these people have more impact on transport fare, cost of transportation than you and I that we just drive our own car. And these are the people governments are targeting. But as more and more people are bringing in more kits, we know that the cost will continue to go down by the time we have enough of outlets where you can buy all these kits. So the price will still come down. But again, if you are using it for transportation, if the entry or cost of acquisition, when you look at it in 4 or 5 months, you recoup it and then start. Apart from the fact that it's cleaner, it's make your engine function better, and it's safer.
It's cost effective as well.
It's cost effective.
Just
because,
like Mr. Coker said.
Yes, because at the end of the day, the cost of retrofitting, you are going to recoup it within 4 or 5 months.
You know, Shegun says, how can he? I'm sorry. Shegun says, how can he be part of this initiative? He wants to be trained.
Okay. Last year we organized what I call a seminar on value chains in CNG, and we brought youths in all the states of the federation. We did a 2-day seminar. There we explained to a lot of people, when you look at the ecosystem, there are a lot of ways you can be involved. We have one Yusuf that we trained the other time. After we trained Yusuf, Yusuf decided to be a trainer.
Trainer.
Yes, and we were in Ekiti one day, and we learned that a training was going on. We got there, we met Yusuf, training 45 people. We were in Ilorin, and we learned that training was going on. We went there, we met Yusuf, training 30-something people. So Yusuf, on his own, he decided he wanted to focus on training. And he has taken that.
Can somebody just, embark on training without your certification?
He has been trained by us, certified by us, and then if you need to train, he has to meet basic requirements, and then provide basic equipment that you are going to use for training, and that's what he has done.
What of where the Shegun does not have access to some of these trained?
Let Shegun, for was it Tosin or President Nodim that mentioned it? We, at this level, we focus more on the technicians, those that already understand how to maintain vehicles, that are already working on vehicles. So they only need a minimum period of training. So these people can be trained for 1 week, for 2 weeks, because they already understand all the processes. So what we do is we focus more, because we need to scale up the number of artisans that can do this. So we focus more on these people. So these are the people that are doing we are training now for conversion. But again, you can get involved in the supply chain of the kits. So Shegun can be involved in supplying of the kits. Then you get across to Standard Organization of Nigeria. They give you the specification. They probably give you the accredited dealers or manufacturer worldwide. Then from there you get across. Then you can also get across through.
Sorry again. What does it cost? What does it take to now be a dealer? Because I know Shegun will send another question. Okay.
To be a dealer, number one, you have to understand the functioning of those kits, the kits that are required, and you have to. That's why you need the standard from Standard Organization. Standard Organization can assist in doing that, and also give you the list of those people that have been accredited, worldwide, not only in Nigeria, to produce kits for use in Nigeria. So they do that. And there are a lot of ways in which you can get involved. Apart from, we've mentioned we also mentioned the supply chain, about the provision of a daughter station where you can refill your vehicle. And again, we have some that are providing mobile refill units. So you can provide mobile refill units, and this one are other way of getting involved in CNG ecosystem.
All right. Okay, I have some questions here. And this one is from Destiny Vincent from Lugbe. It says, good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, presenters and our guests. I want to thank the federal government for reduction of price in the conversion. I registered since March this year, and up till now, they have not called me for conversion. It's like people have hijacked the process after paying 50K, that's 50,000. The NURTW are yet to call me. And again, what is the DG doing to combat quackery? Because everyone is putting on their overall coat, claiming they are experts. We wanted to ask that question. Upon all this, the cost of transportation is still high. And what is the federal government doing to tackle this ungodly act by transporters? Despite the fact that the CNG government said that when we have the CNG, the cost of transportation will go down. Now, this from Leod. Leod is from Lagos. He said, good morning to you all in the studio. CNG is a good move in the energy sector, but we need to know the list of accredited agencies around the nation through a website and the cost of getting your vehicle fixed on CNG so we don't have vehicles being blown up due to wrong agencies. Okay. Then this one says, I have two questions. This is from Alaji Garko from Karu site in Abuja. He said, what efforts are being put in place to make sure conversion centers are found in every state and local government headquarters for easy access? And the second question is, what mechanisms are being put in place to curtail the production of substandard cylinders and other tools for conversion and also reduce the cost? This one is, can a motorcycle be converted to CNG? Is from Taju. Taju is from Lagos. And Kingsley Lazarus from Yanya, Abuja says, have you created continuous workshop or training to individual car owners on how to use CNG in case of eventualities as first aids when there is stopping along the road? Most car owners with fuel car users are used to check on their fuel filters if there is a blockage on your PEEP, but even using your mouth and draw fuel in case there is needs. I don't think that CNG will be able to do that. What lecture have you introduced to all the CNG users on primary first aids along the line while on the road? And this from Daniel. Daniel is from Akwa Ibom State. He says, please, I'm interested in training on CNG conversion. Do you have any accredited center in Akwa Ibom? And what is the cost of learning it?
Okay. Let me take them one after the other. Okay. The first one is about...
And quickly too.
Yes, quickly. Okay. Okay. The first one is about how do we make sure that we don't have fake people parading themselves as... Yes, number one, if you go through our website, we list the approved conversion center on the website. Okay. Our website is www.naddc.gov, that's gov.ng.
So you repeat it again so that at least...
And it's NADDC.
Yes.
People don't think it's NADDC.
Okay. So just repeat.
www.naddc.gov.ng. Okay. So if you go there, you will see the list of the accredited converter. Also, if you go to the webpage of the Presidential CNG Initiative, you can also find the list. You can also find the list of accredited centers there. On how to make the centers spread, government is not the one provide or creating the centers. What we do is we try as much as possible to encourage private investors, and private investors are the one that provide these conversion centers. So what we do is also to make sure that we train people in different states. So we have done training in different states to encourage and also encourage people to invest and establish conversion center. We've done a lot of engagement with people, stakeholders in this industry. So in this sector, and each of the stakeholders, we encourage them also to establish a conversion center in different states. So this is ongoing, and we continue to train more people so that there will be no need for anyone to patronize fake one. And after we give license, and we give license to every conversion center. When you get to a conversion center, if you are not sure, you can ask to cite the license of that conversion center. And you can scan the QR code there. Immediately you scan it, it's going to give you the details of that conversion center. It's going to give you the name of the contact person, the phone number, the address. So if the address you see on that day does not match the one or display in the address of that particular location, then you know it's not accredited by us.
Did we have to stop you, but I'm being told to ask you this question again. Can motorcycles be converted? I know it's one of your levels.
Okay, yes. The motorcycle can be converted, tricycle can be converted. But what you see nowadays is that because of the cost, and the focus is more on conversion of vehicle. And what we are encouraged now is that just go ahead and buy the already made, because a lot of motorcycle and tricycle manufacturers now are now manufacturing direct.
Yes, because I'm also wondering why we are not really given more attention to automobile companies that are already producing, CNG cars, and we're focusing on converting.
Why we are focusing on converting is because of the cost. And because you already have a vehicle you are using anyway. So we are not saying go and dump your vehicle you are using. You can easily convert. But if you want to buy a new one, people buy a new one, go straight to the...
Innocent is producing...
Yes.
Is producing
Innocent is producing
CNG
vehicle.
Yes.
As I mentioned the other time, 100%, all the vehicle bought by government, CNG vehicle buses, they are all manufactured here in Nigeria. That's assembled here in Nigeria. Innocent is there, Jet is there, Nord is there, Land Race 2, and many, many more. All these ones are done. For example, Dangote Seno trucks. So most of the trucks you see on the road are assembled here, and they come with CNG. So you can buy the one already produced with CNG here in Nigeria, or you buy the one that are not with CNG. Then you do your conversion.
You still have a few questions that you have not responded to.
Because of time. We didn't have time.
Someone mentioned about cost of fixing. The cost of fixing depends on the type of vehicles, because the bigger your vehicle is, you have V6, V8, then it's going to different costs of fixing.
DJ, I'm sorry, we have to go. I'm sorry, we really have to go. Demola.
No,
yes.
Okay, you have the list of the...
okay. Let's, of course, let's appreciate the DG of the automobile development.
Design and development.
Yes, we would like to thank you very much for coming to share your thoughts with us on this important topic. Okay, let's also appreciate Mr. Best Nodim, who joined us from Lagos. Mr. Nodim, thank you very much for joining us. And, of course, Tosi Koka of the PCNG, who joined us also from Lagos. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, that's our conversation this morning. Thanks for tuning in. I am Ademola Adeoye. Do have a lovely day.
I'm Claire Adelabu Abdurazak. Bye-bye.